It was May 6th, 2010. Wall Street was in chaos. Within minutes, nearly $1 trillion in market value had vanished. Gone, like smoke. Traders stared in disbelief. The Dow Jones plunged nearly 1,000 points, the biggest single-day drop in its history. Billions were wiped out. But here's the twist. This wasn't caused by a war, or a government collapse, or a tech failure.
Wiped out.
Now, exactly 1 minute after that is essentially a buy stand.
Stocks accelerate their
The bottom
slide.
falls out of the market, and we have
The
this
chaos that shook the entire global financial system began in a small bedroom in a quiet suburb of London. And the man behind it wasn't a Wall Street insider, wasn't a hedge fund genius, wasn't even part of an investment firm. He was Navinder Singh Sarao, a quiet, introverted man living with his parents who had spent over a decade trading from his desk at home.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
With a few outdated monitors, an old version of Windows, and a custom algorithm he paid a freelancer to build, he manipulated billions of dollars in market value. From that tiny room, he made hundreds of thousands of dollars in minutes. And at his peak, over $40 million in total profits. He fought the system. He beat the system. And eventually, the system came for him. Stick with me till the end because this is not just a story about greed or luck. It's about how a single trader using nothing but intellect and timing bent Wall Street to his will and paid the ultimate price. Let's begin. Navinder Sarao was born in 1978 in Hounslow, West London. His parents were humble immigrants from India, hardworking, disciplined, and deeply modest. From a young age, Navinder showed two things: a fascination with numbers and a deep dislike for crowds. While other kids played football or hung out after school, he'd spend hours solving math puzzles. He wasn't the type to seek attention. He was quiet, precise, obsessed with logic. After graduating from Brunel University with a degree in mathematics and computer science, Sarao discovered something that would define his life: day trading. He joined a proprietary trading firm called Futex in London. It was there he developed his craft, reading the order book, anticipating price movement, spotting inefficiencies. Unlike many traders who relied on gut feelings or news, Sarao focused on the tape, the live flow of buy and sell orders. He studied it like an artist studies light. He didn't gamble. He calculated. And soon, he began outperforming everyone around him. His colleagues called him the machine. He had this uncanny ability to predict market turns seconds before they happened. But Sarao wasn't content being just another trader. He had bigger ambitions, and even less trust in the system he was working within. By 2008, he was disgusted by the greed and corruption of big banks that caused the financial crisis. He saw markets not as fair systems, but as battlefields. So he left the firm, and he took his skills home. From a simple desk in his parents' house, surrounded by old monitors, he began trading solo. No partners, no team, no Wall Street tech, just him and the markets. By 2009, Navinder had discovered something powerful, something very few understood at the time. The markets were now dominated by high-frequency trading firms, algorithms making thousands of trades per second. They exploited milliseconds of advantage to skim profits from normal traders. But Sarao found a way to fight back. He noticed that these algorithms reacted aggressively to large buy and sell orders, even if those orders weren't real. So he started experimenting with spoofing, placing large fake orders to push the market in one direction, then canceling them just before execution. Imagine this. He'd place millions of dollars in sell orders, creating an illusion of huge pressure. Other traders' algorithms would panic and sell off. Then, in that split second of chaos, Sarao would buy cheap and remove his fake orders. When prices rebounded, he'd sell high. He wasn't hacking. He wasn't stealing. He was playing the system, using its own logic against itself. And it worked. Spectacularly. In a single day, he made $879,000. By 2010, he was making millions. and trading at speeds that rivaled some of the biggest firms in the world. May 6, 2010, the day everything changed. At around 2:32 p.m. New York time, the market suddenly began to fall. The Dow Jones dropped 600 points in just 5 minutes.
May 6,
Liquidity
2010
vanished.
Is an extremely
Traders
volatile-
couldn't believe what they were seeing. Blue-chip stocks like Procter & Gamble traded for mere cents. $1 trillion in market value, gone, almost instantly. It was chaos. And deep inside that chaos, in a small room across the Atlantic, Navinder Sarao was at his desk, doing what he did every day. He wasn't trying to crash the market, he was just trading. But his spoofing orders, massive fake sell walls, interacted with other automated systems in ways even he didn't anticipate. The algorithms began to feed off each other. A cascade of sell orders triggered a feedback loop, and within minutes, the global markets collapsed. For 36 minutes, the financial world was on fire. Then, just as suddenly, it recovered. To regulators, it was the most shocking event in modern market history, and it would take 5 years to trace it back, to one man. The U.S. authorities began digging deep. The FBI, the CFTC, and later the Department of Justice all wanted to know. What caused the flash crash? They analyzed terabytes of trading data, billions of orders, and somewhere in that sea of numbers, a pattern emerged. One trader, ID code NAV_SARAO, was consistently placing massive spoof orders right before key market drops. They were shocked. It wasn't a firm. It wasn't a hedge fund. It was one guy trading from his house in Hounslow. The scale was unbelievable. Over the course of 5 years, Sarao had manipulated more than $10 billion worth of futures contracts from his bedroom. He became known in the media as the Hound of Hounslow. In 2015, the U.S. Justice Department charged him with wire fraud, market manipulation, and spoofing. The FBI showed up at his house. Sarao was stunned. To him, spoofing wasn't a crime. It was a strategy. He'd even reported manipulative behavior by big banks to the regulators years earlier, complaining that high-frequency traders are the real crooks. And now, they were calling him one. He was extradited to the U.S., facing decades in prison and millions in fines. But here's the twist. When prosecutors dug deeper, they realized something astonishing. Sarao wasn't rich. Most of his profits sat untouched. He wasn't buying cars or yachts. He was still living with his parents, eating simple food, driving an old car. He wasn't motivated by greed. He was obsessed with the game. It was never about money. It was about control. Navinder spent years fighting the charges. Eventually, he pled guilty to spoofing and wire fraud, cooperating with investigators. He served no jail time, largely because of his mental health condition, and the fact that his manipulation was more an unintended chain reaction than deliberate destruction. His story exposed a dark truth about modern finance, that markets we think are stable can crumble in minutes, not because of war or politics, but because of algorithms, and sometimes because of a single human hand guiding them. Navinder Singh Sarao wasn't a hero. He wasn't a villain. He was a mirror, reflecting both the brilliance and fragility of our modern markets. He showed that with the right skill, even an outsider can shake the world. But he also showed how fragile that world really is. From his small bedroom in London, he revealed the truth. Markets are no longer ruled by humans, but by code, speed, and chaos. And sometimes, all it takes is one person, one idea, one keystroke to bring Wall Street to its knees. If you find this story fascinating, make sure to subscribe, where we'll be uncovering many stories like this. See you until next time.